AfricaUSARadio.com, home of African gospel. Ekaya Beats.
Good afternoon. This is Reverend Q in the afternoon drive here at Africa USA Radio. And as always, we always have a guest in our show. Once in a while, we have guests in our show. So today, we are also blessed and lucky to have none other than Busie, where she's a therapist. But I got interest in her when we were promoting the Gospel Counts Awards, and then I saw her moving the needle as far as the marketing is concerned, and then I like, no, I need to get this young lady on our corner and see what can she produce for us. But I'm glad to have her just to chop it up with her and see how is it doing. How are you, Busie?
Reverend, I am good. It's been very hot in Joburg. Actually, it is hot even now, but I am good. I'm blessed. I'm actually in the season. I'm in the season. Whatever the season is giving us, I am in that season. I've entered the season already.
That is great. We are in the season as well. But you are excelling on your season because you look like you are trending. Let me put it that way. You are trending right now. You are actually a therapist profession, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Rev Busie is a mental health therapist. So how I started the journey, it is very weird because when I went to varsity, I went to study social work and graduated as a social worker. And then God said, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because along the way, I navigated my journey into the therapy space, and then I became a mental health therapist. So I ventured my space and opened a private practice and went to do the employee wellness. So my love was more or mainly for the employee wellness. Anybody that is in the space, anybody that is working, anybody that is dealing with their mental health, and I became that person. So that's how I ended up being a therapist. Now I practice as one. So that's what I do every day, whether it's anxiety, depression, stress, anything that has to do with mental health. I am that to-go person.
So you're doing it in your office, or you're working for a establishment or something like that as a group, or it's a one-on-one, or how you do it?
So I am 100% self-employed. I don't work for anybody. I am not employed by nobody. I was employed by an NGO sector for some time until I realized that no, I don't want to do this to push numbers. I don't want to do this to push paperwork or to push admin or to push anything that they may want. I actually love talking to people and I want to see a person's journey. So I opened my private practice in 2016 and started practicing then, in and out through the difficult times. But I would say my peak up was on COVID time, where everybody was working from home and everybody got to deal with themselves. And that is when people were like, who is this demon that I am? And because now we've got time for ourselves, we're literally sitting and you get to know who you are at your own time without the distractions of the road, without the distractions of the work, of the people, of the spaces that we travel to. So each and every person was sitting at home and facing who they are. And that is how I ended up being a therapist for myself. So I work for myself. I am unemployed. I am self-employed. Yeah.
Self-employed. So you do deal with the mental issues, but you also on your space, you also encourage physical fitness. And I've seen that you run marathons, you gym, you do all these things. How does that work?
Yeah, I was actually expecting you to say I've already started running 5 kilometers every day. I was expecting you to say I've joined you because you've been following my journey. So to distract myself, when you're an entrepreneur, Reverend, you can sit in the space of not having clients. You can sit in a space of there's no work, there's nothing that's happening, and the only distraction that I can get is for me to be active, meaning running or being physically and emotionally, psychologically active as a person who deals with people's problems. Because if I am tired myself, it means that when you come to my office with all your problems, I'm already tired. So I started running, but when I started running, it was just to, when somebody says, just run a 5 kilometers, like what I'm saying to you now.
Yeah.
And then a 5 kilometer became a 10 kilometer. I'm like, oh, this is easy. And then a 10 kilometer became a 21 kilometers. I'm like, oh, now this is interesting. And then a 21 kilometers became a 42, which is a marathon. I'm like, oh, wow. If I can expect my clients, when you sitting in an office space with a man that says, I just discovered I've got cancer at the age of 40, and this is when my life was starting. This is when I thought that things are coming into place. And then God just challenges you with a disease like this. What do I do? And I will sit and I'll say to these men, listen, go do it. Go to your dialysis. Follow the procedure. Do what the doctors say that you must do. Trust, believe, have hope, wake up, have something to wake up for. And as difficult as it is, you can do it. So to myself, I was like, I'll be a hypocrite if I advise my clients to go through difficult situations and achieve them. But at the same time, I can't do that myself. I need to find something that is so difficult to do. Meaning, if I run a marathon and finish it, then it means I can achieve anything I want to put my mind into. Then that client of mine can achieve anything they put their mind into. So that is when now I diverted into the space of running to say, I'm going to challenge myself to finish a marathon. And I did. And then the next thing, it was 9 marathons. And I did. So the reason I ran the marathon was for me to make awareness of men's mental health. To say, it is okay not to be okay. It is okay for a man to go through the most. It's okay for a man to have depression. It's okay to have anxieties. It's okay not to have it all together. So let me run and tell you that let's just talk and speak. Let's sit down and talk and have a conversation so that I let you know that it's okay. You're human. Yes.
So you also won a lot of medals and trophies. How far did you go with that? Let's say how many medals?
Yeah, I've lost count. I
saw
have
them.
lost
I
count.
saw them. Actually. There's plenty.
Yeah. I've lost count, but I can say nine marathons. So 942 kilometers that I've done within a year. And then the 21 kilometers, there's just a mess of them. They're a lot. 10 kilometers is just a lot. So I've lost count, but yeah, I've been collecting medals.
Wow, that is good. So it also helps you mentally, physically, or you just doing to encourage other people?
It actually helps me physically because I am one active person. I think you've seen it. And I think a lot of people will always say to me, Busie, where do you get your energy from? And I'm like, I run. I run. I wake up, I start my day with a run, and the rest of the day becomes so easy. So that is where I get my energy to do the extra work that I'm doing. So mentally, it helps me because it challenges me. Running a marathon, Fundisi, there's endurance there. There is, what do you call it? Consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to push, even if you feel like you don't want to do it. You have to push. So that all on its own can tell of how much of a person I am if I can run a marathon. Because finishing that, it's like running from Johannesburg to Pretoria.
Wow.
With your feet. So mentally, it helps so much because I get to think so much about myself and I get to achieve so much that I put my mind at it, because I'm like, if I can run a marathon, what is this? I can do it. There's nothing I cannot do.
So it's not polite to ask a lady or a female the age. So if I want to start as old as I am, I'm north of 50. Is it still good, or you just too late?
It's the start. That's the start. It's not too late. It's not too late. You'll probably be winning some podiums at 50 for your category of the age. It's funny, we're talking about age. Next year I'm turning a big age, and I'm like, yo, this age is big. I
This
never
age
thought
is
in my
big.
life I'll be counting 3 decades of life with looking at another 8 years of it. I'm like, yo,
Wow.
I'm left with 2 more years to count 4 decades to be on the fourth floor. So
To be on the first floor.
yeah, I'm
Okay,
getting there
so
on the fourth floor. So yeah, no, it's
so you
not too
can
late.
encourage any age, but
Any
pace
age,
yourselves.
any age, you pace yourself. We can even start next year, Rev. I can even do this with you next year to say, you know what, let's start this 5 kilometers.
Let's start with
Start your
5K.
5 kilometer races, walks. Next thing, it's a
Wow.
10. Next thing, you'll be inviting me to America to come run a race with you. And, you know,
That's great. I
yeah.
do a little walk. I walk a lot, and I do a treadmill sometimes, but I've never run on the street.
Any day is a start day.
Any day to
There's
start
never
here.
too late. Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears to, and then in all these things, and then you develop interest in gospel music industry. How did we get there from? How did you get here from there?
Yeah. So funny enough, how I developed the interest in the entertainment industry and
Uh,
marketing and content and social media and all of this. It actually started in 2017, not in the gospel industry.
okay.
A late friend of mine that passed on last year in November, invited me to be a co-director of the Feathers Awards,
Mm-hmm.
which is the your queer community, gays and lesbians, and all of that.
Okay.
And he said, you know what, let's direct this show together. Let's do it together. I had
Mm.
no clue of what to do. I had no idea. I'm a little girl from the Eastern Cape, literally a small farm town from PE, and I come to Joburg. I don't know the celebrities. I don't know how
Okay.
they look like. I only know their stage names from television. And
Mm-hmm.
this guy is like, let's do this. So I'm like, no, I'm available. You know, I've been a freelancer there and there with my brother. So
Okay.
that year in 2017, I did those awards with him, and I
Mm.
loved it.
Wow.
I loved the space. I loved the Googling who is Somizi, the Googling who's Diva Kadesh, the Googling who's
Okay.
this, and seeing the profile and connecting it with the face and doing the rehearsals and actually talking to them on WhatsApp, preparing them for the day. You know,
Wow.
all of that. It interests me. I was like, this is the life that I don't want to miss. So along the way, I did, you know, like your small jobs with your Vuzu, Channel O, Mzansi Magic on December. So I would work with my brother. And
Mm.
along the way, because I'm a Christian, it will haunt you to say, exactly what is it that you want to do? Because this is not the side of the life that it's you.
Yeah.
And I got to be introduced to the Crown Gospel Awards by Uvo Vipadala. So
Okay.
Vovi, he's everywhere. He's been 24 years in the industry,
Okay.
producing, yeah, working with your Dr. Rebecca Malope, with your Sizwe Zago, with your, you know them, with your Lundi, the late Lundi.
Okay.
So he's been in the industry, and he saw my passion, and he said, I need you on board. I
Mm.
need you to work on the crowns with me. Take all the energy that you have and all the love that you have for entertainment, and let's put it
Brilliant.
together to the space that you are a pastor's kid to start with.
Mm.
So
Wow.
gospel is your place. And
Mm.
because I've got friends in the industry, and I've made friends in the industry, some of them I've been assisting them with the social media space to say, let me
Okay.
help you with your account, let me help you to
Account.
build your profile. Yes, let me help you with the PR side of the profile, making sure that you are known, you are
Mm-hmm.
seen, your music is there, but then nobody knows you. So how can I
Yeah.
work to expose you so that you are in the space? So when Crown Gospel Awards came, obviously it's me. I
Wow.
took it with both my hands, and I'm like, I am going to play my role here. But the love of gospel has been there from the very young age. I
Okay.
think when it comes to the Crown Gospel Awards, they just opened that space for me to say, oh, Busie, because you've got the love of this, do this for Uzanele. So I've met Umama Z for, I think, twice or three times in my life, but not to a very close space of working with her, but to
Okay.
know her as Umama, that we would meet or connect in some spaces. And when we were doing the prayer at our church in Sentin Assemblies of God, that was
Okay.
in May. I stand to be corrected. We did the prayer for her. And from the prayer, I gave my all, because I was like, Lord, she's going to survive. She's going to live. And as a therapist, I needed to be there for support and
Wow.
to be around the artist, to be around the family and everything. So it started from there, that relationship. So when I was giving it my all on the day of the crowns, I was saying that I'm doing something that is close to my heart, that I have it naturally in me. It comes naturally to work with somebody. If I see potential, I push you. If I see that you can be in places, I push you. Just like I was pushed into the industry, I'm able to PR a lot of artists. I'm able to PR a lot of people to say, can I help you with your brand? Because I've got the skill, and then I know how to enter spaces and dominate. So that's how I fell into the love of gospel, into the love of media and entertainment, which I really needed to get big, because there's a lot that I have in store.
So the success of the last Crown Awards, how you assess it? Do you think it was successful enough? Do you think
You know,
the promotion department did a great job?
yeah, Rev. To be honest, we were sitting with the team, having our year-end closure as the Joburg activation team. So what Vovi Patala did, he connected his people together, and he said, "This is my activation team in Johannesburg.
Okay.
What we will do, we're going to go to malls and activate the Crown Gospel Awards and tell the people that the awards are going to happen. We are going to go to churches, and then we're going to activate the awards and tell people that the crowns are happening. We are going to go to schools and activate the awards and tell people that the crowns are happening." And we went to all the malls in Johannesburg. We even went to KZN in Pavilion. And every activation we did with our artists was a success. Kanan Yati was in support. Spoonzima was in support. Amos Mnyatela was in support. Nomti was in support. So we had our artists that would come in. Nezimusan Umuzi was in support. So each and every activation, we knew that we've got our people that will come. KZN was amazing. We had your Dumim Kokstad, we had your Jumbo, we had your Lungelo, we had Angelica Majola. So artists would come and they would sing just to say, Zanele has played a role in our lives. Therefore, come, let us do the final awards. So when they happened and when I saw the crowd of people that came there, I was like, this is beautiful.
This is beautiful.
Because there was no marketing video that was played on television to pull the crowds. There was no flyers that we gave to pull the crowds, meaning the activations, they worked because it was full. People came through, and the radio interviews that Bishop has done, the marketing that we have done on the social media, because I think how you even got to know me is because the marketing on social media was booming.
It was booming.
We were just entering. We were on people's faces every day, tagging the relevant artists, tagging the sponsors, making sure that we show up. We had to do that. And I would say I played that vital role of saying, Prince Gumede, he's one of the guys that is responsible for the Crown Gospel Awards page. And we said, we need to push the page together. We need to post every day. We need to create the reels. We need to create marketing. Whenever we are out there on activation, I want to see it on the page. If there's something that we are doing, I want to see it on the page. If there's an interview, I want to see it on the page so that it's constantly on people's faces. So yeah, so for me, it was a success because I feel like the little role that I played, which was big, for me, it made such an impact on the crowns because I remember some of the artists, they'll be like, I didn't see my video on the crowns. And I'm like, okay, bring what do we have to do? Come through to activations. Let's take some few videos. We'll create a reel and we will post to show that people wanted to be recognized on the page as well.
On the page as well.
Yes, because now I made it so visible, and the team, we made sure that we don't miss anything. I am one person who does not even want to miss catering on an event. If there's a caterer, that caterer must be tagged. That caterer must be acknowledged. That caterer must be, they must be there. You must see that this person did the decoration. This person did the sound. This person was
really
playing the
helps
drums.
because, as you say, that's when I began to know you and to connect with you through that. Because every morning I wake up, Africa USA Unity Events was tagged. And it was encouraging. It was encouraging.
Yeah.
As much as we are supportive of the crown, it's good even to see that our name is being recognized, being seen there. I'm sure most artists is the same way.
Yeah, I think so. It was like that. I always say to people, when it comes to marketing and social media, we need it to be personal, Reverend. If a social media account is not personal, it's not connecting with me, because I need you as a person to give me you. But if you're going to give me everything is professional, there's no connection of a personal touch or a personal feeling and acknowledgement, then nobody's going to pick it up. So the reason you were even able to pick up that, the crowns is activated, is because there was a personal attached to the sponsor, to say you sponsoring the crowns with a win of a USA trip. So therefore, let us be personal about it. Let us tag you, let us connect you, let us speak to the people, the 3 categories that were nominated. Let us connect and make it personal. And that is how you were able to see beyond the crowns, to say, but there's something else, because it was more personal. That's something that we are missing in the marketing industries, that we're not very personal sometimes. And when I connect with you and your music and the genre of the music that you're playing, I'm connecting with your people that are listening to your music, that are listening to your genre, that are supporting you. So that is what the personal side of things, when I say we need to be personal, because we can't miss that part.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Busie Siwe. She goes by Busie and on social media. So we are glad to have you, Busie. What else can you tell our listeners and viewers about you and what you're doing? Before we leave, also, I want to explain how to find you, where to find you, all that stuff, so that if somebody somewhere needs a counseling, somebody somewhere needs an encouragement, can call you and then set up the appointment.
So first, where to find me, Busie the therapist. On all social platforms, I've made it easy for people so that whenever they say I need therapy, there's Busie the therapist. So they will not miss that. In your Instagram, your Facebook, TikTok, everywhere, it is Busie the therapist. Those are my accounts. And I would always like to say to people, don't wait up until the breakup point to seek for therapy. Don't wake up until you break down. Because a broken record doesn't sound nice. A record that you can see that it's getting there to be broken. You fix it so that it keeps on sounding nice. So we must never allow ourselves to break before seeking therapy. Therapy is an everyday thing. Therapy is talking to somebody and aligning yourself in a space of your mental health and wellness. And that is what I would like to say to people. If you need to speak to somebody online, I am available. I've been having clients, especially in lockdown, from Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and I think I had a few from, so I've been having online clients reach me out, we sit, we talk, we connect with the session. Besides that, anything that has to do with your social media, if you feel like it is stagnant, it is still, and you need somebody to assist you with content directing, marketing, and all of that, I am your person. I will go as wild as you allow me to go as wild, because I believe that our sponsors, our funders are there, but they need us to show up. If we don't show up, then they will not come through and find us. And that is my vision for Busie in terms of the social media side and entertainment industry.
Well said. I hope you got. Tell me, a person like you're saying, don't wait until you're broken. How a person, I can have a problem and think, he's gonna go away, he's gonna go away. How do you
Yeah.
realize that? Okay, real now I need help.
Hence, I say if you wait until you realize, then that's where the problem is, because then you are broken now. You've got stresses, you've got anxieties, you've got depression. Your mind is all over the place. The doctors are gonna give you medication for stress or depression. So check in with yourself quarterly, monthly, yearly. Let me go sit down and speak to somebody. How am I feeling? Am I okay? What's going on in my life? Listen, Rev, I think we go through the whole year. You don't want to tell me that with everything that has been negative that can happen in your life in a year, you're going to forget just by saying Happy Christmas and Merry New Year and start the following year and all of you are good. No. It means that we need to constantly check in with ourselves to say, I need to speak to a therapist just to check in. Am I well? Am I okay? How did that divorce affect me? How did that breakup affect me? How did me losing a job affect me? How was my financial situation this year affect me personally? Because there are a lot of decisions emotionally that we take based on the things that are happening to us. So those are the check-ins that I want us to do, to say, am I okay? Let's check in. Then that's when you're going to discover that, oh no, I need help, by checking in.
Wow. Let us avoid suicide. Let us avoid depression. Let us avoid bitterness by simply contacting Busie, the therapist, so that you can get help. We need you around. We want you to be happy. We want you to be uplifted in spirit. We want you to succeed in life. So whatever problem you have, whatever you think you might not have, the death, sometimes the mourning goes a long way. You think you lost somebody you love 10 years ago, it's still there in your heart if you never dealt with. So please contact our young lady here, Busie, the therapist, is going to help you. And Busie, thank you so much to have you. You are greatest. I promise you, I'm going to be mentored as far as running is concerned. I'm gonna start doing my exercise and make sure, and I'll keep in touch with you and tell you how far away I'm at with because you did encourage us, and I'm also gonna encourage our team that running is also help you mentally.
Yes, love it.
Thank you so much for stopping by here at Africa USA Radio. Don't be a stranger now. Every once in a while, come on and chat with us and tell us your successes, your at your office and in your running department.
I think I'll pop in, and maybe our next topic would be how can our gospel artists deal with their mental health, because I don't think they know how to.
Yes, that's true. They're going through a lot.
And they pray, and that's all they do. They pray, and it's not about prayer sometimes. It's about us speaking about how do we go through that mental. Yes. So
and we need to do that. We need to do that, and we need to advertise it well, so our artists can follow and do accordingly. Thank you so much, Busie. God bless you. We'll see you.